First of all, Jonah Hill, like we're sick of him. Like, why is he still a thing? Like, please go away. Like, you belong in the Lord of the Rings. Like, what do you want her to surf in? A windbreaker and a hoodie? And you know what? If I was her, if I was Sarah Brady and you sent me that shit, you know what I would do? I would strip butt ass naked and I would surf naked. Bitch. Right. I got a podcast! I to the no. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of I'm Literally Screaming! Ah! Everybody in the stands are standing up. Everybody in the crowd is ripping off their clothes. Oh my gosh, no, please keep on your undergarments. We don't want to see that. Or maybe we do. We have a very beautiful, amazing guest here today. Her name is Athena. And today we're gonna be talking about boundaries. More specifically, boundaries we have with friendships, relationships, familial boundaries. We're actually going to be giving some advice to people who have written in and give you guys some boundary advice. We do a little prank call on someone we all know and love, but you won't know about any of that unless you stay tuned. Before we get into this week's episode, if you didn't know, we started a new segment and it's called Spencewuah Reacts, where each week I'm gonna see a new piece of media and pop culture that I haven't seen before. Don't ask me how I haven't seen it, I just haven't. I'm gonna look at it and you're gonna see my live reaction. Today, we actually have, what is this? Right. So Jonah Hill's ex-girlfriend posted screenshots of messages he sent her. Mind you, she is a professional surfer. And apparently Jonah Hill said that she wasn't respecting his boundaries. We're gonna read the messages he sent her and you're gonna see my live reaction. So this is on Sarah Brady's Instagram story. The top of the story is captioned, "This is a warning to all girls. If your partner is talking to you like this, make an exit plan. Love y'all. Call me if you need an ear." And then this is her messaging Jonah Hill. "All the posts I removed from my page. Good start. You don't seem to get it, but it's not my place to teach you. I've made my boundaries clear. You refuse to let go of some of them, and you've made that clear, and I hope it makes you happy." And then he sent her another picture, and it's of her post. It's a screenshot of her Instagram post. He then goes on to say, "Plain and simple. If you need surfing with men, boundaryless or boundaryless?" What is he? Is this like, he needs autocorrect. I don't know what the hell that says. Surfing with men, boundaryless and appropriate friendships with men, to model, to post pictures of yourself in a bathing suit, to post sexual pictures, friendships with women who are in unstable places and from your wild recent past beyond getting a lunch or coffee or something respectful. I'm not the right partner for you. If these things bring you to a place of happiness, I support it and there will be no hard feelings. These are my boundaries for romantic partnership. My boundaries with you based on the ways these actions have hurt our trust. Respect however you want to live your life. You only get one. Sort of done with explaining myself." She then messaged him, "3 removed, not the video yet. It is my best surfing video. Would you feel better if the cover frame was different? Any more specific ones that bother you?" He said yes. "One that isn't of your ass in a thong. Not a thong, but K." For context, he is mad at Sarah Brady because she is wearing her professional surfing swimwear and he doesn't like how it's showcasing her body. And he doesn't like that she's flaunting her body and that. What do you want her to go out? Like, what do you want her to surf in? A windbreaker and a hoodie? What do you want her to surf in? A puffer jacket, you weird ass? Like, I'm so sorry. Like, when is enough? First of all, Jonah Hill, like, we're sick of him. Like, why is he still a thing? Like, please go away. Like, you belong in the Lord of the Rings. You need to get away from me immediately. You look like Gollum. You look like you're gonna say, I want the ring. Bitch, back off. Why are you speaking to her that way? That's her job. That's like me coming up to you at work and saying, hey, I'm your partner and I don't like that you said the F word in that scene. You can't say it. Bitch, it's part of the script. You're gonna have to say it. This is what she wears to go surfing. You sound delusional. And if these are your boundaries, maybe you shouldn't have dated a surfer, you weird ass bitch, especially knowing going into the relationship that she surfs professionally as a occupation for a living to pay the bills. And now you're mad at her because that's what she wears to work. That's what she has to wear to work. What do you want her to wear? A pair of jeans? What do you want her to wear? A freaking hoodie? If she gets taken by a wave, she's gonna sink. Like literally she's going to sink, girl. Like what else do you expect her to wear? And you know what? If I was her, if I was Sarah Brady and you sent me that shit, you know what I would do? I would strip butt ass naked and I would surf naked. I would surf naked. I'd say, oh, you don't like that? How about this one? Bitch, you're weird. And Jonah, anybody, no offense. No offense, and please don't take it this way. You are lucky that you are dating or were dating Sarah Brady. You are lucky that you were even able to view that Instagram post. And the fact that you messaged her screenshots of her in a bathing suit, bitch, one that she has to wear for work, and had the audacity to say you had a problem with it, you're weird. You are so weird. And honestly, Sarah, I'm proud of you. You want to know why? You broke up with him. And honestly, if it were me, I'd probably be dating him for money as well. I'm sure that's what you were doing. And if that isn't what you were doing and there was love in there, sorry, all too well, Taylor Swift 10-minute version. However, if you were in it for the money, I'm really glad that you got that fat paycheck. You told him off, exposed his ass, and left. Because you know what? I'm sure you're going to get a lot more coin with the press you get from that, because he's clearly a misogynistic asshole. Anyways, speaking of Jonah Hill and boundaries, as many of you know, I have my guest Athena waiting for me off in the wings. And today we're actually going to be talking about boundaries, weirdly enough. You might know Athena from TikTok. She's hilarious. I know you guys I watch your makeup videos, but we're not talking about that today, girl. But I love all of her makeup videos. She's hilarious. If you want to watch a tutorial and laugh your ass off, she's the bitch to watch. Anyways, please welcome to the set, Miss Athena! Woo! Woo! Oh my God! Ah! Yes, girl! She's here!
I don't know what's going on. I'm scared.
Okay, how was your weekend?
I don't know. I just drank the whole weekend. I can't remember it.
Oh.
I was supposed to go to the Barbie premiere, and then my friends were just like overweight and lazy and they didn't want to go, so we didn't end up going. And I had the cutest outfit. And Nicki Minaj was there, so.
Really?
Yeah.
That's really devastating. You should have gone without them.
I know, but I didn't want to show up alone. I get scared, especially movie premieres.
You should have invited me. I would have been your +1.
You didn't did they not invite you? They didn't invite me. I had to literally like DM them and be like, let me go.
Who, the Barbie movie people?
Yes, somebody from like H&M Communications, something like that.
Oh, I am going on Friday to like, when is the movie released?
The 21st, I think?
Yeah, I'm going this Friday for a premiere, but that's because I'm Emmy's +1.
Okay.
But if maybe I was invited and I just didn't see it. But at least this weekend for me, I had a psychic witchy moment while I was at the Trading Post with Leo and Dom.
What happened?
So we were at the Trading Post, and while we were online. Have you been to the Trading Post before?
Is that like a glory hole thing?
Yeah, but like only on like Tuesdays and Wednesdays.
Okay.
Any other like
And you were there both days?
I was there every time they have the event. Yeah, glory hole days.
Do you have like punch cards?
Oh yeah, no, mine's full. I have to get a new one, actually. So, yeah, but I know you're on your like 5th punch card. I'm trying to catch up to you.
Yeah, for Planned Parenthood. I have my next abortion coming up. But
oh yeah, I'm not surprised. Yeah, I could beat it out of you.
Just pull it out.
No, I would just beat you.
Just open up my pussy lips and scream in there. The baby will crawl out.
Oh yeah, and
Can't we just not put that in there? We're gonna get canceled.
Yeah, the house. But so we're at the Trading Post and we were getting coffee from this. It's like not a tent, but we were getting coffee. And while we were getting coffee, this girl started talking to Dom, and me and Leo were like,
Was she blind?
No, she wasn't.
I'm just kidding, Dom.
You were like, so like she was okay.
She had a gun to her head.
No, she was flirting with Dom, and me and Leo were like, oh, he has to notice, you know? He didn't. And as we were leaving, he was like, dang, I really should have gotten that girl's Instagram. And I was like, you didn't? And he was like, no, like I didn't think she was flirting with me until like later on. And I was like, how did you not notice she was flirting with you? And he was like, I don't know. And I was like, do you want to go back in there and look for her? And he was like, yeah, sure. So immediately as we're walking back in my head, I'm like, I need to find this girl. Like, I'm going to find her. I was like, I know where she is. I'm like tuning into like my third eye. And I look at Leo and I look at Dom and I was like, we should split up. And they were like, really? And I was like, yeah, the trading post is huge. We should split up and I guarantee one of us will find her. So we all go in different directions. I ended up going in this one direction and my brain, instead of even looking in the place I said I was going to look, immediately darted to where my head was like, oh, she's going to be here. I find her, literally, I'm not joking, in 2 minutes after leaving them, get her Instagram, send it to Dom. And Dom was like, how did you do that? And I was like, I'm a witch and I could just sense where she was. On the way back, there was like a booth that I went to and I saw a necklace. Like there was a necklace there that said fag and I wanted it so bad.
For Dom?
Huh?
What?
Oh no, for Leo. For Leo. I wanted it so bad. And the lady at the booth, because I bought like a hoodie there, like prior to finding the girl. And the lady there was like, oh, do you want this necklace? But it was okay because she was a raging lesbian with her partner there.
Oh, period. Wait, so she gave it to you for free or she sold it to you?
For free, yeah.
She was like,
you're
having a bad day. You've
like,
been having a bad life. Here's this.
She's like, look at you. I know you don't need the necklace to show that you are, but here it is.
She's like, here, I'm just going to give it to you for free because we don't accept food stamps, so just take it.
Now, let's take a quick break to hear from our sponsors today at Rocket Money. Guys, quick poll. If I were to steal your phone right now and check the spam folder in your email, how many subscriptions do you think you'd have right now? How many of you would have way more than you suspected? I bet it's more than half of you. Don't stress though. This has happened to me so many times I can't count anymore. Until I discovered Rocket Money. Rocket Money is a personal finance app that finds and cancels your unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps you lower your bills all in one place. You're probably wondering, how can one single app do all of that? Well, Rocket Money will quickly and easily find your subscriptions for you and give you the option to hit cancel if you don't want to pay anymore. And they'll straight up just cancel it for you. No jumping through hoops and digging through the fine print on weird websites. Rocket Money also helps you manage all of your finances in one place and helps you categorize your expenses, so you can easily track your budget in real time and get alerts if something looks off. Another statistic for you. Over 80% of people have subscriptions they forgot about, and over 3 million people have used Rocket Money. That helps the average person save up to $720 a year. My mind is blown. Long story short, stop throwing your money away, cancel unwanted subscriptions, and manage your expenses the easy way by going to rocketmoney.com/I'm screaming. That's rocketmoney.com/I'm screaming. rocketmoney.com/I'm screaming. Now, on to the show. What would you define as boundaries?
I don't know. I feel like I'm new to like boundaries. I feel like as somebody, like what's your sign?
I'm a Leo.
You're a Leo?
Yeah.
I'm a Libra. I feel like for me, it's like really hard to like create boundaries.
Oh yeah. I feel like, that's what makes you so funny. It's like you kind of, how do I put it?
There's
like,
no line.
Yeah, there is no line, but like, I feel like you're still respectful with it. Not really.
Yeah, no.
But like we know you're joking, you know?
Yeah. Well, I'm just kidding, yeah.
You're like I guess we'll never know now.
Well, no, I'm just kidding, yeah. Are you good with boundaries?
Yeah, I feel like I am. I feel like boundaries are something that like I've always worked on, and I feel like everybody should work on them, especially when meeting new people or having people in your life that you want to keep in your life. Because I've always felt that if you don't set up boundaries with the people you love, obviously those boundaries are going to get crossed.
Yeah.
And you're going to get hurt. And usually what happens, you end up getting mad at that person. But I'm sure if they had known about those boundaries, or if you had set those boundaries, they wouldn't have done it. So I've just kind of like learned over time to like set boundaries with not only myself, but with others. So there are no like waves of miscommunication. Because I feel like when you don't have boundaries, that can happen a lot.
That's actually really smart.
Thank you.
I'm like, wow, I'm having like an epiphany and a moment of realization.
Yeah, that was a good word, epiphany.
I don't know what it means, but
it's like,
thank God it worked out in my favor.
I feel like it's important to have boundaries, especially with like people that you're close with. But I feel like what's really hard being online, especially as an influencer, where your life is online, it's like boundaries with your audience.
100%.
Because when I was in my relationship.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah, that was crazy. When I was in it, I didn't want anyone to know about it at first. And people found out who he was in like a month because of a video I posted. And they saw a freckle like on his like chest and found out who he was from a freckle. Even though I specifically said I didn't want anyone to know who he was.
People are crazy. I feel like they, like the audience, like the fans, like create like these parasocial relationships with like creators, which I understand, like period, like you live for us, but there is boundaries.
I think my issue lies when it's like, I understand that like my platform I got from being open and from other people being invested in what goes on in my life. But I feel like once you open that door, people unintentionally, they just feel entitled to know everything about you. And when that happens, as you mentioned before, like with parasocial relationships, they immediately, because your life is online, they immediately come to this conclusion that you and like you guys are best friends. And I'll like open up DMs sometimes and I'll see someone DM me and be like, hey, horse mouth bitch. And I'm like, oh, and they follow me, and then they'll like send me a whole paragraph.
And it's a DM from me.
Yeah, it is probably.
No, I get that a lot. I started off doing a lot of what's it called, like self-deprecation humor, like calling myself fat and stuff like that. So like I'll meet fans in public and they're like, hey, you big fat bitch. And it's like sometimes I'm like, oh, like the other day I was at the club and this fan asked me for a picture and he was like, oh my God, you're fucking like massive, like you're huge. And while his friend was about to take the picture, I just like walked away. I was like, this faggot. Like I can't do this right. I was so drunk though. Like sometimes they're like a little too much.
Yeah, I feel like it's almost, how do I put this? It's like they don't, it's not that they don't, I need to put these words into thoughts.
They're just dumb as hell. Like call it as it is. Like
I wouldn't even say that. You would. Cancel Athena, not me.
Period.
You're like, any attention.
I'm like, again? No, I'm like, cancel me again? I'm just kidding.
No, but I feel, especially when it comes to like online relationships with like an audience, there is a connection, but I feel like the connection is different than someone you're close with. Like if my friend was like, hey, you ugly bitch, I'd be like, hey girl.
Period.
I'd be like, right, eat me up. But when it's people you don't know and they're like, hey, you horse mouth bitch, and then send you a paragraph asking for advice, it's like slow down. Like even my friends don't call me that, you know?
You gotta ease into it kind of.
Yeah. It's like I wouldn't go about calling my friends an ugly, stupid bitch the first time I meet them.
Yeah.
So exactly. Like, but that's also another issue. It's like they feel like they haven't met us for the first time. Like they feel like once they follow you, it's like that's how they've known you. Yeah. But it's like,
or they think that because they have I think it's because, sorry, I literally sound stupid as hell, but I think they think that if they come to you with that energy, you're gonna be like, oh, period, like my bestie. But it's like almost like not.
And in that like same breath, wait, what were you saying like moments ago?
Probably.
It's self-deprecating jokes. Yeah. Like I feel like, especially people who are into comedy, that's what we do. Like a lot of the times we make fun of ourselves and the way look at the
me
mug.
Like this. I'm like
guys,
buy
look at
Spencer's merch.
Buy my merch in the description down below in the YouTube video. Thank you. But I feel like people who are into comedy, they make self-deprecating jokes because I've always felt it's easier to make fun of myself and my own appearance before someone else does.
Exactly. That's literally why I do.
And it's like, if I'm going to make fun of myself, I'm going to get a laugh out of it and I'm going to make sure everyone else gets a laugh out of it. But like with that, also people need to understand that me making fun of myself is different than you making fun of me. Like I literally saw this the other day and it pissed me off. I was scrolling on TikTok last night and this was on my own For You page. And
I saw this already. TikTok.
You know what I'm talking about? The guy on live?
Wait. Oh no, I thought you were talking about somebody like it was like that they edited the picture of you when you were younger.
Oh no.
That was funny as shit.
Wait, which one?
Did you not just post it yesterday? You said that you were on your own For You page and then somebody made an edit of you.
This is like completely different. See, I didn't draw attention to the video I'm talking about because I don't want this person to gain attention from it.
No, I remember you told me about what happened, and then I saw you did a video. I saw a clip of your podcast, and you were talking about him. And in the comments, I was like, I know who he's talking about. It was like on Past Your Bedtimes, like TikTok.
Yeah, guys, keep this hush. But someone was on live, and they were doing ASMR, and they had like like literal, I'm not joking, horse teeth, but I'm talking about like, you know, those like fake teeth you can get where they're like ugly, and they're not ugly, but like the
Like
gums,
flippers?
the gums are like this big and the teeth are like this big.
Mm-hmm.
Someone had it in their mouth and they were like doing ASMR with it, and he was like, whenever I have these in my mouth, I feel like Spencewuah. I literally was sitting there and I was like, first of all, screw you.
First of all, he ate that. I'm just kidding.
Like,
No,
first of all, like, okay, get it.
That's fucked up.
But my whole thing is like, the whole running joke about like me having a horse mouth. Look, bitch, like say what you want. I'm so sorry. But like the way people describe it is like, oh, your gums take over your entire mouth. Bitch, no, when I smile.
Yeah, I'm looking at you right now and like they don't. Like,
sorry, like
he has a beautiful smile.
Thank you. It's just like, it's one of those things. And then people are like, whenever I laugh or whenever I like cover my mouth in a video, people are like, why are you covering your mouth? And I'm like, because you people who say that like
insecure.
You love
it's
me
y'all's fault.
Have like made me insecure by like making jokes about my teeth. And like, I've kind of like recently actually, like I've kind of come to this place of like, oh, I don't really give a shit. I was literally thinking about Drew, and I was like, the amount of hate Drew gets and like the amount people talk about her. And I was thinking to myself, I was like, why do they say those things? Because Drew's gorgeous.
Because she's just cunt. Like she's just that girl.
And I literally was like, oh my gosh, it is because one, they're jealous. And
100.
Two,
I feel like, I don't know if like people always get mad at us when we get into that conversation. I feel like people are so jealous of influencers, and I get it, but
I feel like with Drew though, the hate usually comes from like misogynistic individuals, and I feel like it's because they're jealous because Drew's literally making bank off of not like literally
right.
like not only being right, but
calling
like
calling
bitches out when they're wrong.
Yeah.
And Drew's attractive. She's beautiful. Her boyfriend is attractive.
She's so funny. I saw her live podcast one time. She's hilarious. Her and her sister. Hilarious.
They're hilarious. And that's what I'm saying. It's like when I look at what people say about Drew, I don't think, oh, they're saying that because like they're right. I say, oh, they're saying that because she like she called them out and they're angry because they know. And then I think, oh, if I can apply that to them, or if I can apply that to other creators, why can't I just apply that to myself?
Yeah. People are just jealous because you have a personality. I feel like a lot of people don't have a personality. And I feel like you say what's on your mind and people don't like that. But
I also feel like when you are an influencer who I don't even want to, like, I don't feel like I don't fall into like a niche. I feel like I am my own niche. Yeah. And I feel like a lot of people get mad at the fact, and especially at a lot of creators who have made a following or have made a fan base off
a specific niche,
being themselves, like their personality.
Yeah, you can probably like do anything. Like you could do like makeup, you could do a clothing haul, anything, and as long as your personality's in it, people are still gonna watch it because it's you.
Yeah. Now let's take a quick break to hear a word from our sponsors today at Truly Hard Seltzer. Looking for a lightly fantastic and truly refreshing drink to add to your summer mix? I don't know about you, but when I'm kicking back at summer picnics or barbecues, I like to feel like I'm on an island. In fact, maybe I will be on an island this summer. I'll keep you guys updated. But you know the vibe. It's sunny out, the chips and dips just arrived, and you reach for a perfectly refreshing drink to accompany your snack plate. With Truly Hard Seltzer, you get a nice mixture of real fruit juice and a variety of incredibly refreshing flavors. And each can is clocking in at just 100 calories with 1 gram of sugar. Super light, endlessly drinkable. They have so many amazing hint of flavor packs. I don't even know where to begin. Right now, I'm obsessed with their limited edition Red, White, and True with flavors like Cherry Pop, Blue Raz, Lemon Ice, and Peach Burst. But I also love the citrus pack with refreshing flavors like Grapefruit, Lime, Lemon, and Citrus Squeeze. Perfect for a day out in the sun. Their tropical mix pack is my go-to for the beach, with island flavors like passion fruit and watermelon, and their berry mix pack is basically in my hall of fame, with flavors like wild berry, blueberry, and strawberry lime. Imagine pulling up to the function with a pack of these truly hard seltzers. You're an instant fan fave. Come experience the magic. Super light, endlessly drinkable, and the perfect beverage to have on hand at the beach or to break the ice at the 2 p.m. work happy hour. Try Truly Hard Seltzer today and see what the lightly fantastic life is all about. Please drink responsibly. Aside from like social media, I know we like touched lightly on like interpersonal relationships with people and setting boundaries with them, but have you ever had issues with others and how to like set boundaries with them? Because I know like you make a lot of self-deprecating jokes. Has there ever been a time where like someone has made a joke towards you and you were just like, okay, hold up, and you put them in their place?
Yeah, I feel like I have a lot of like friends. Well, I mean, I have a lot of friends, but a lot of like plus size friends, and we'll make fun of each other, like poke fun at each other, like for being like overweight, just because we think it's funny and it's like ironic.
Yeah.
And then we have like a couple skinny friends that we kind of had to check and be like, hey, like, by the way, like you can't make these jokes just because like it almost looks like you're laughing at us and not with us.
Not with us. Yeah.
So it's happened a couple times.
Yeah. I feel like, I don't know. I feel like we've had banter like that, but like in my head, and like, I don't know how to explain it, but like when I was young, like I literally had to have surgery, like not saying that excuses like our banter back and forth, but like, I feel like I've always said this, like when you're like a chubby kid growing up, like I was a big kid. I got bullied for it a lot. I feel like hopefully from me, like it's coming from like that inner child, you know?
Yeah.
And like I never want you to think that I'm like,
oh no, 100%.
at
Also,
you.
I'm okay with anybody like saying anything to me as long as there's like perfect comedic timing. Like if
Yeah.
it's said in a certain way and the comedic timing is perfect, then I'll laugh at it. Like, you know?
Yeah.
You can tell when somebody's being hateful. Like I don't think you're hateful at all.
I'm a good person. So I feel like the main times I have to set boundaries, it's usually like, how do I put this? I feel like I get used a lot because I am the type of person where it's like I will go out of my way for you, but whenever I've looked at friendship, it is always a give and take.
Yeah.
And like I feel like a lot of the times the way one-sided friendships occur is when you or someone else gives too much and that isn't reciprocated. Like, for example, me and Emmy are very close, and the reason we are close
Oh, I
is
thought you were about to read her. I was like, oh
no,
shit.
I'm like, actually, screw Emmy. No, I love Emmy to pieces. But me and Emmy are close because we like have a very big give and take. Like if she ever needs me to pick her up from the airport, I'm there. If I ever need her to pick me up from the airport, she's there. Like it's never, oh, I don't want to. It's like, oh, if I can, I will. And even when it comes to us having issues, if there is a problem, we tell each other. Like if I ever have a problem with Emmy, I'm like, hey, Emmy, this is what you did and it bothered me. If Emmy has a problem with something I did, she will literally be like, hey, Spencer, this is what you did and like I have a problem with it. And we have had those conversations before.
So you guys have like clear boundaries.
Yeah, like our friendship, even with me and Zaya, like our friendships are very healthy because when we have issues, we know that, well, Emmy knows, I know, Zaya knows, we all know that there is never going to be a time where I'm going to go out of my way to deliberately hurt you.
Yeah.
But just because I'm not going out of my way to deliberately hurt you doesn't mean I can't hurt you.
Period.
So it's like, if I do things, obviously I had good intentions, but there have been moments where I had good intentions. It didn't come across that way. And we've had to be like, hey, this is what's going on. And it's vice versa with all of us. But there have been times, especially not with Emmy and Zaya, but like I have felt like I've been used in terms of like.
Did you experience that more when you got to like LA?
Yeah.
Everybody here is so transactional. It's like,
exactly. It's like, I feel like unless there have been friends where I've realized like, unless you have something to provide them, they're just MIA. Like, and that's like a big problem I have. And it's like, I sniff it out right away too, at this point where I'm just like, oh, well, like, I pick you up and drive you places all the time. And the only time you ever really talk to me is when we're at group gatherings or you need a ride somewhere.
Yeah.
Like that clearly in like my eyes is like, oh, okay. Or it's like, oh, the only times we talk are like circumstantial where it's like, oh, we're both at the same event, or like, oh, we're both at the same party, or oh, we're both doing the same thing coincidentally, where it's not like you check up on me and you're like, hey, how have you been? Like that, I can't deal with that. And I have brought it to people's attention before and I've just been like, hey, like this is what you're doing, whether you intentionally mean to or not. And they're like, no. But then they keep doing it. So in my head, I'm like, I've set my boundaries. But yeah, when it comes to friends, it's easier than when it comes to like relationships. But like, I've always noticed that people are afraid to set boundaries because they feel once they do, they're going to lose that person. But I've always believed if you set a boundary with someone and either they don't reciprocate or they think that what you're saying is stupid or they ignore those boundaries that you set and keep going, I've always just personally believed that that person clearly isn't meant to be your friend. And that's why I have found such amazing friends by the age of almost 22, and it's simply because of the fact
Wait,
that
you're 20. You're about to be 22.
Yeah,
You're 21. Oh my god.
I turned 22 on July 23rd.
Oh my god. What are you doing for your birthday?
I don't know yet.
Period. We're blacking out.
Okay.
I hate that we're having this conversation about boundaries because I'm over here like so quiet. I'm like I'm realizing a lot of things in my head.
Then no, when I'm like literally when I'm say them afterwards. But I was gonna say that like with like friendships, it's like
it is really hard.
It's hard, but if that person doesn't respect your boundaries, then clearly they're not meant to be your friend.
100%.
And that's how you find real, true friends. It's like someone you know where it's like, if we get into an argument and you talk to me and you're like, hey, I don't like that you said this, or hey, I don't like that you did this. If I look at you and I say, what the hell, like whatever, like clearly I'm not meant to be your friend. Whereas like, if I sit here and I'm like, I didn't even realize that affected you in that way. Those were not my intentions, but clearly I did hurt you. I didn't mean to, but nonetheless I did, and I'm sorry. That is the type of friendships you need to build upon. You can't build upon friendships that like you don't have. It's like setting up a house without putting down like the foundation.
Yeah. I feel like I'm at a therapy session right now.
Yeah.
That is true though. I feel like you are really genuine. Me and Leo were talking about this the other day about how genuine you are. Because I feel like there's not a lot of genuine people in LA. There's definitely fun people, but I feel like the way you talk about your friends is just like so like that's the kind of friend you want to have, like somebody like you.
Thank you.
So I can't wait to leave the studio and then block you on Instagram.
So I can't wait to leave and talk so much shit about you.
I feel like I have a hard time setting boundaries with friends just because I feel like they should already like know how I feel, and that's such a bad thing about me. I feel like I'm so toxic, and then I end up cutting off a lot of people, and then like I come back like months later because I'm like, oh, we didn't have any closure, and I miss you. But if I set more boundaries, I feel like I would not fall into that trap.
I feel like if you were to set boundaries with people and they did those things, this is why I always like to set boundaries, and that's another thing based off of what you said. It's just when you set boundaries, you know that when someone does something, clearly they didn't respect your boundaries, and you can bring it up. And I usually go off of like, if they're not willing to change, you can't change them.
Yeah.
And if they're not willing to accept your boundaries, then they like clearly you should keep distance from them. Doesn't mean kick them out of your life, but you shouldn't be as close to them. Kill them, yeah. No, but I feel like that is a problem where people assume that others will know how someone else is feeling, you know?
Yeah.
And it's like,
that's exactly how I am. I'm like, if you don't get it, like, how can you not read my mind?
yeah, see,
I'm going to hell.
No offense, but like that's why I say you need a therapist.
I was going to therapy. I was doing BetterHelp, but only because I was doing a sponsored post with them. So legally I had to take therapy. And then I did it for like 2 sessions, and then she started getting a little too deep, and I was like, if you're not going to eat me out over Zoom, then what's the point?
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. No, but it was too fierce.
It was too fierce.
We like got to know each other, and she's like, okay, so let's unpack all your trauma. And I was like, bitch, take me to dinner first.
You're like, hold on. Yeah, I feel that. See, I also think, thank God, my mom had me in therapy. Like, when I was younger, I had to go to therapy, and then when I got into high school, like my one teacher, my biology teacher, because I didn't know I had OCD, but she recommended I go to therapy when I had like a mental breakdown one day in our classroom, and she sent me to the guidance counselor's office.
I thought you were gonna say the gynecologist. I was like, oh,
no, well, that too. I had to go there as well. But even just going to therapy, it's so. I feel like the issue is a lot of times when you. Not the problem with therapy, but there are people who are therapists that shouldn't be.
100%.
Because they are so shitty.
Yeah.
But I feel very sad for people who haven't found a good therapist. Like I had a therapist back at home. Her name was Joanne. Joanne, I love you to this day. And when I would go to her, in the beginning, it was like everything she said to me was like new knowledge to myself, like new knowledge. I was like, whoa, why didn't I think of it that way? But then after a while, when I kept going to her, it almost became like whenever I had a problem and I was sitting there, I knew what she was going to say. Like I knew that I knew the way to solve my own problems. I just needed to hear it from someone else.
Yeah.
And I feel like therapy is always good, but also just having someone to talk to is also really good.
Oh my God. I saw that TikTok you did where you said that you sent that video to the Marine military guy.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Let me talk about that. Sorry. So I was talking to this guy. I was like literally only started talking to him to be unhinged. Like it was so fun. Like he would send me photos of him at the gym and I would say like,
was he hot?
Yeah. I was like, baby needs milky, yada, yada. Yeah, he sent me a picture of his pecs at the gym, and he was like, working on my pecs. And I said, baby needs milky.
Did he block you?
No.
He should have.
He's from the military, so he wouldn't. But
oh yeah, they're interesting. They're trying to get married right away.
That's what I'm saying.
And if he can't get you pregnant, he's gonna try.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, he wanted kids. He wanted to have a house, whatever. Long story short, like I kept he would make plans to hang out, and I would say okay, and then he wouldn't follow through with them. I would make plans to hang out. He'd say okay, and then he wouldn't follow through with them. And then we were supposed to see that new Insidious movie, and I was like, okay, Sunday we need to go see it. Like we're gonna see it, and he was like, okay. And then I messaged him the day before. He literally was acting like he had no idea what I was talking about, and I was like, bitch, like I was replying to the message I sent, and that he responded.
Wait, was he like out like as?
Yes, he's out, which is like crazy cuckoo bonks. He's in the Air Force, and then.
So he's just like annoying?
Yeah, and then I asked him, I was like, so, because we didn't see the movie, I was like, so did you want to go this week? And then he sent me a photo of his face back, and I literally was like, I was like, you're boring. Like, you are so boring. Like, you are so boring. Also, when I wouldn't respond to him, that's when he would blow up my freaking phone.
So he just like was using it for like attention, like validation kind of.
I guess so. But the minute I stopped responding, he would literally, he's a Libra. The minute I stopped responding, that's when he would be like, hey, where did you go? Hey, this is on the 3rd. Hey, yeah. And I was like, okay, no. And then I would reply to him. And then he would leave me on open for hours. And I was like, okay, I can't keep doing this. Like, you're annoying. You're weird. If you wanted something, you should have said it. If you were actually going to be down to hang out, you should have followed through with the plans that we made several times. Sorry, but you're boring and you need to get out of my life. Like, I can't handle this anymore. Like,
you blocked him?
Oh.
Period.
Actually, no, I removed him. And this is how I remove people.
Block and unblock?
Oh. I send them a message on Snap that usually ends in a question. So when he didn't reply to my question of saying, hey, you want to see the rest of that Insidious movie? I sent him a snap back and I said, hey, you going to answer that question? And then I unadded him as a friend, didn't block him. So when he sees the snap, he'll open it and then he'll respond and then it'll say pending. I want him to know that I unadded him. I'm not going to beat around the bush. I'm not going to tell him I'm unadding you.
Well, to be fair, you were trying to beat around the bush, but he wouldn't reply.
Yeah, right. Like I was trying to beat. Yeah, you get it.
Oh my God, that's actually really petty, but that's kind of sickening.
Thank you.
I'm going to take that.
Yeah,
take write that down on my notes.
Yeah, if you can write it.
I'm like, let me turn on the, what is it called? The Siri.
I'm like,
Siri, remind me to.
Speaking of situations, relationships, friendships, online ships, situationships, whatever you want to call them, and boundaries that are here, there, and in between, we had a few people write in asking for advice pertaining to setting boundaries. My phone is on 5%, guys. So I'm going to try to read these and like actually get through these. So this is the first person. Starting in a few months, my whole family will be back living in my hometown. We all do now, except for one sister who will be moving back from Kentucky. My dad was saying that we will have to get a rotation going for Sunday dinner. The thing is, I don't know if I necessarily want to see them for dinner every Sunday, especially my sister who is coming back from Kentucky. I am fine with going to 1, maybe 2 dinners a month. It's mainly because of my sister moving back. She can be a lot to handle. She's not good at respecting boundaries and is very pushy with her political views. She is also constantly giving unsolicited advice. Like last Christmas, she told me she was going to do my makeup, but didn't ask me. She then proceeds to comment on my acne, criticize my products, criticize the way I do my hair, etc. etc. What do you think is the best gracious way to handle this while maintaining boundaries? Punch her in the face.
Block them on Facebook.
Right.
Yeah. Block her on Facebook. Sleep with her boyfriend. Just kidding. She probably doesn't have a boyfriend.
Yeah. Kill her cat. No, don't do that. The cat did nothing.
Period.
I would say there really isn't a good way to go. Like, how do I put this? She's family.
Well, I mean, the thing is, yeah, she's family, but like at the end of the day, like just because they're your family doesn't mean you have to like brush it to the side. Like speak up for yourself. And if they don't respect your boundaries, then just do like the most rational thing you could do and block them on Facebook.
Or kill them.
Yeah, literally. I feel like that's too rational though. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe. Like, I don't know. Do whatever you're feeling that day. But I think personally that she is family, and if you haven't addressed this with her before, now would be a pretty good time, especially if your family expects to get together every Sunday.
Yeah.
And honestly, you should tell her to her face hey, when you comment on my appearance in a negative way, when you give me this unsolicited advice, when you comment on my acne or this or that, you make it so I don't want to be around you.
Yeah.
And you should probably say it in a loving way where it's like,
yeah, because maybe she's unaware.
Yeah, you should say it in a loving way and like, I want to spend time with you and I love you, but it's getting harder and harder to be around you and not say anything about this. And if you continue acting that way towards me, I need you to know that I will be calling you out. And if you continue to do it, then you just won't hear from me anymore. And I'll see you when I see you.
And then pull out a gun and be like, just right at dinner, who did you vote for? Yeah.
Oh yeah. And speaking of political views, if she's ever trying to push her political views down your throat, literally, you can just make it very clear, like, hey.
Just be like, did I ask?
Literally.
That's the best.
I would literally, not even did I ask, but it's like, where did that come from?
Or if she just brings it up, just be like, wait, don't you have chlamydia? I feel like that's like really rational.
Didn't you have gonorrhea 7 times?
In 1 week.
You're talking about you're talking about Republican Party, but didn't you sleep with that one girl 2 times in college?
Yeah, didn't you let her finger you under the lunch school, what is it, table?
Mm-hmm. But it's just like, I don't know. I would just, when it comes to things like that, like political views.
Just laugh in their face. Make them feel dumb.
I would literally, yeah. Well, not only that, but it's like setting boundaries. Like, how would you set boundaries about political views? That
like,
don't
look at your sister and just be like, you know that if you tweeted about this, you would get canceled? And I feel like she'll get scared.
You know,
is that not the best way? That's what I would do.
I would record.
I've actually done that with a family member. I did that to my dad one time. I was like, if any of my fans ever saw this, I would get in trouble for this, and you would get in trouble for this. I'm not gonna say what he said, but
you should just record her the next time she's talking, and then say, "Watch me post this on Twitter."
I'm recording you, yeah.
Yeah, politics, like when it comes to politics and family, that's always tricky because like I know that me and my family, not all of my family, but some of my family have very differing or very different political views. But
like you voted for Trump and they didn't.
Yeah, like I voted for Trump and Ron DeSantis.
I don't know who the that is.
Oh, he says the gays, and I say yeah.
Okay, then I probably would have voted for him too.
Yeah. No, but I don't know. I feel like when it comes to politics, if she's cutting you off, you should say in any political discussion or political debate or any time you want to talk about politics, if you are not willing to hear my side or my views on certain policies, on certain laws or different things going on in Congress or in our government that I don't like and maybe you like, or vice versa, if you're not willing to sit down and have a casual conversation about this or hear me out, then clearly like you're not ready to have these kinds of conversations, and you shouldn't be shoving it down people's throats, because if you're not willing to hear opposing viewpoints and you're not willing to take my side into consideration, maybe you should brush up on your research. Oh.
What he said. I'm just kidding. Yeah.
Okay, and this is our last one. I need help setting boundaries with one of my friends who calls me constantly. I have just received 10 back-to-back missed calls during working hours, and I know for a fact it's not urgent. She probably just wants to update me on her job offer and ask me for tips regarding negotiation. I'm a recruiter. How can I politely tell her to not call me during work hours? This is not the first time she has left me excessive missed calls when it's not an emergency. I'm a recovering people pleaser, and I'm trying hard to set boundaries without fear. Any tips? Much appreciated. I like her, but it's coming across as selfish. It's Monday. Why is she not considering the fact that I'm also busy with work? I'm 100% remote, but this doesn't mean I'm always available. I forgot to add that she lives next door, so I don't want any drama. What do you think? Athena, they said they don't want any drama, so you can't tell them to like get a gun.
I would still say like, no, that's kind of tricky. I feel like it was already tricky to begin with, and then they live next door. Move out. Oh, period. Yeah. Oh my God, no. Period. Give her bad advice, so then like that way she won't come to you.
That is
period.
so smart.
Oh my God.
Yeah, no.
It's like the first smartest thing I've ever said in my life.
Wait, but like she said she still wants to be friends with her. If she gives her bad advice in especially an area of her own expertise.
Beggars can't be choosers. That's all I'm gonna say about that. Either gaslight her or don't. I don't know.
Why don't I give you my advice? I would say, hey, I would love to help you because I'm your friend and I love you. However, you are calling me during my working hours. This is how I make money. And yes, I would love, again, to help you. And I know that you are struggling in an area that is my expertise, but you are not the only person I need to help. There are other people that I need to help as well. I have a job, and we're fortunate enough to be neighbors because of my job.
That's too many words. I would just taser. Light that bitch up. I feel like I'm being rational. No, I think what you said is right. Yeah, just be like, oh, I'm at work. I'll help you after work.
Yeah, you need to start being like, hey, these are my work hours. And if you, unless you're calling me for an emergency, call me this hour or after. And then if it really comes to a point where it's like, this is too much, put your phone on do not disturb.
Yes, that's what I do. My phone's on do not disturb 100% of the time.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, should we call Leo?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. I have a punching emoji next to Leo's name in my phone because he got jumped in Berlin. I hung up on him. Okay. He was probably smoking a cigarette.
Yeah, probably.
I feel like I heard enough. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I just heard enough.
No, I heard like the white noise.
But he was gaslighting me. Like I just.
No, that was rude. He shouldn't have said that.
Literally transphobic.
Yeah, there was a lot that he said that I don't really appreciate.
Yeah.
I can't believe he would call you that. Are you crying?
Okay. Take it from here because I'm just being unhinged now.
I love your hair, by the way.
Oh, thank you. I was gonna put an extension. I wish I knew that it like I had like maybe 10 more minutes and I would have put my extensions in, but this is whatever.
Athena, before we wrap up, do you want to throw in some your socials and any new upcoming projects you're working on?
Follow my OnlyFans. It's at Athena Layna. I have a collab coming with Spencer. It's a scratch and sniff special, so you can smell us through the camera. It smells like poppers and bologna. I'm just kidding. Follow me on TikTok at Athena Layna. I just started doing YouTube, so follow me on there as well, I guess. And yeah.
Well, if you guys didn't know, now you know. My username on everything is Spencewuah except Snapchat because some bitch stole my username. So it's Spencewuah with an M in the middle on there. If you didn't know, now you know. My episodes of I'm Literally Screaming are released every single Thursday. Whoop, whoop, on all audio streaming platforms. But if you want to watch this happening live and in person, go to the Past Your Bedtime YouTube channel and subscribe. If you guys have the chance to leave a nice comment, like the video, comment who you want to see on my show next. Also, again, there's a link down below for the merch. So Athena pointed it out a few times, but the blankets and the mug and everything you see if you're watching this on YouTube, you can get.
There was a gun to my head, that's why I had to.
Yeah, there was a gun. You can get in the description down below. Aside from that, please, again, like, comment, subscribe, because I love you all so much. And if you don't, that means you hate me. And I love you guys. And it hurts me to know that you hate me. So I love you all. And until next time. Mwah.